Hello, everybody. As a member of the LGBTQIA community, I think it's important that we spend our time working for the acceptance of every member of our community, be they trans, gay, intersex, asexual, or agender. Everybody deserves to be seen and to be heard. Today, I went to a meeting and our legislature made a comment about transgender people that I felt was unfair. So I wrote this letter as a response to what he said. Dear Senator, I attended the legislative coffee today in Garden City, and I would like to speak to you about the comments that you made concerning the bill in our state legislature that would prevent transgendered athletes from participating on gendered teams other than the team pretending to the sex they were assigned at birth. You spoke about removing the hatefulness from this bill by not requiring these rules for younger children, and I appreciate that you're trying to find a balanced way. Unfortunately, I do not feel that we can pass any part of this bill and have it be anything but hateful. You said that you would most likely vote for this bill, and I would like to encourage you to consider voting it down, the reasons for which I will list below. Also, I would like you to consider the harmful nature of this bill and others which have been introduced in the State House, which aim to make it a crime for doctors to perform gender reassignment surgery or hormone replacement therapies on minors. Currently in Kansas, HB 2210. I understand that in the current climate, this may be a difficult issue for you to have to think about, but it is something that so many people who have been marginalized in our communities have to think about on a daily basis. First of all, I would like to make you aware of the hurtful nature of the comment you made. You said, nobody wants men playing on women's teams. I would like to make it clear that transgender women are not men, and it is hurtful for you to imply that with your comments. I understand that it's a very touchy subject and goes against the personal beliefs of some people. Therefore, we could just consider the fact that transgender people have a deeply felt sense of identity of being a woman. Comments like this can be unhelpful to being able to fit in. When we consider the number of attacks and comments made about transgender people, we can see a community that is in need of allies. As well, studying what science says about this can be informative. Transgender women experience a 10% decrease in their running ability after going on hormones, which is about right with the average time difference of about 9.5 in average times between males and females traditionally. As you can see, studies show that there is not an advantage for transgender athletes. So without actually addressing a problem for our athletes, this bill merely works to build prejudice and hurt those who are unjustly accused of an unfair advantage. Bills like this one unfairly single out vulnerable people, ignoring that science does not support this isolation. We already lose too many trans people to suicide every year. Bills like this take away their ability to be who they are or play on teams for the gender for which they identify will lead to even more stigmatization. The increased judgment and exclusion will lead to increased isolation, segregation, depression, emotional stress, and ultimately more losses to suicide. Trans people already have so much discrimination and hatred thrown at them. I ask for you not to add to this with government-sanctioned discrimination. Instead, the citizens of our state would be better served if we could find ways to lift up trans voices and decrease the stigmatization that has been so detrimental to the trans people of our state. As a member of the LGBTQIA+ community, I cannot sit down and watch as trans members of my community are discriminated against. One member of my community experiencing discrimination hurts us all and leads to more isolation. There are so many friends, youth, and acquaintances that I have who are part of this community who see what you do in relation to them, and it affects us all. As someone who knows many people that will be stigmatized and hurt by these bills, I encourage you to consider changing your vote to the truly helpful vote and vote no. Also, just a few adjustments in the way we talk about an issue can make a big difference. I appreciate your time. Thank you.